good morning from the Monday after Easter Sunday. Today we're off to Venice, which I'm very excited about. We're going to go explore with my husband and mother-in-law, and we're going to go see all the beautiful places you can find there. My husband's just now in the background having a laugh at me. But yeah, I'm going to take you along because Venice is an absolutely stunning place, and it's so nice to always visit with my husband who's a local. So let's go. As we arrive in Venice, it's hard to imagine why anyone chose to build an entire city in the middle of a lagoon. The first Venetians were actually refugees, people escaping invasions on the mainland after the fall of the Western Roman Empire around the 5th century. They fled to these tiny muddy islands because they were difficult for armies to reach. What started as temporary shelters slowly became permanent homes. By driving wooden piles deep into the lagoon floor, they created stable foundations and eventually built entire neighborhoods on top. Over time, Venice grew into a major maritime power. Its position between Europe and the East made it one of the most important trading centers of the Middle Ages. Spices, silk, ceramics, and precious metals passed through here, and this wealth shaped the city we walk through today. The canals become Venice's streets. Instead of carts or horses, people moved everything by boat. You'll see working boats, public transport, and of course the gondolas. Gondolas were the main everyday vehicle and were brightly painted in different colors until a 17th century law required all of them to be black. That rule is why they look uniform today. As this gondola pulls away, you can see the Gondoliers' traditional uniform, a striped shirt, dark trousers, and often a straw hat called a botta. The stripes originally made the Gondoliers easy to recognize on the busy canals. Today, Gondoliers go through strict training and exams. They have to learn navigation, languages, and Venice's history before earning their license. And now, of course, a Spritz. The Spritz actually comes from the Veneto region. In the 19th century, when the Austrians were stationed here, they found local wine too strong and asked bartenders to spritz it with water. Over time, it evolved into the drink we know today, usually with Aperol or Select, which is the original Venetian version. Although gondoliers are one of the most recognizable symbols of Venice, the profession was traditionally passed down through male family lines, which meant women were simply excluded for generations. It wasn't until 2010 that Venice licensed its first female gondolier, Giorgia Boscolo. Today, there are still only a small number of women in the role. Venice reached its height between the 12th and 15th centuries as a trading republic. Its navy protected trade routes, and the wealth from overseas commerce funded palaces, churches, and public buildings. Even the organization of the city is shaped by water. Narrow alleys to protect from the wind, wide squares for markets, and the canals for transport. Every part of the city developed around practicality and the movement of goods. So we are here in the center of Venice next to Rialto, the husband says. So far we've had a Spritz, we've had Cicchetti, which is a very important snack you can have in Venice, I highly recommend, which is really good. We're with the mama, she's taking us around. Now she's quickly stopping in the spot, as you can see behind me. Today's a public holiday, so not everything is open. Lots of tourists around, but this is a very beautiful day, super sunny. Yeah, it's actually an awesome. If you're just relaxed, you don't have any intention, you're just walking around, floating around. Venice is the perfect place to find little secret spots and do nothing in particular. Maybe go to a museum if you want. But yeah, perfection. It's a beautiful place. Over here you can see the Cicchetti in the window. And here we have some beautiful taralli. Ma taralli sono di dove? Di Sud? Puglia. We are now passing the Mercato del Pesce, the Rialto fish market. This market has operated for centuries and was the center of Venetian food trade. Even today, much of the seafood you eat in the city comes through here each morning. The market's location near the Grand Canal made it easy for fishing boats to unload their catch. And this is the Rialto Bridge. The Rialto Bridge is the oldest bridge crossing the Grand Canal. The current stone version was completed in 1591, replacing earlier wooden bridges that kept collapsing or burning. At the time, many architects predicted this design would fail because of its single, very wide stone arch, but it ended up becoming one of the strongest structures in Venice. Today, it's lined with small shops, just as it was centuries ago. The Bridge of Sighs, built in the early 1600s to link the Doge's palace with the prisons. The name comes from the idea that prisoners would sigh as they caught their last view of Venice through its small stone windows. In reality, the name was invented much later for romantic effect, but the bridge remains one of the city's most recognizable landmarks. We reach Piazza San Marco, the heart of Venice. St. Mark's Basilica reflects Venice's connections to the East, with its domes, mosaics, and influences from Constantinople. Next to it stands the Campanile, the tall red brick bell tower. The current tower is actually a reconstruction. The original collapsed in 1902, but was rebuilt as it was where it was. The square has always been the political, religious, and social center of Venice. Caffè Florian is one of the oldest cafes in the world. It opened in 1720. It became a gathering place for writers, artists, and intellectuals, and much of its historic interior is still preserved today. Inside each room is decorated in opulent 18th and 19th century style, with gilded mirrors, carved wood, marble tables, and walls covered in frescoes and stucco. The mix of Venetian Baroque and subtle Orientalist influences reflects the city's long trading past, and the red velvet seating and warm lighting gives the whole space a theatrical, museum-like atmosphere. And now we're taking a Vaporetto, Venice's public water bus. This is the main way locals move around the city, and it's often the fastest way to travel long distances along the Grand Canal. As we leave, you get a good sense of how Venice functions. Boats carry supplies, gondolas moving through small canals, and the buildings rising directly out of the water.
Bello? Sì, finestra è bello. Finisce.
So hi guys, we just got back from Venice. It's been the most lovely day. We're quite roasted now because obviously it's very sunny, it's really warm, and we've been walking around for hours, and at the very end we took a water taxi, a ferry, back towards where we had parked our car. And honestly, it's been such a lovely day. We were very fortunate. It's been a very sunny few days here because Easter can be touch and go over this kind of April, May, spring period with the weather. But yeah, it's been lovely. There's loads of tourists, there's loads of people around. We also managed to squeeze into a beautiful cafe, which was much more local. So I will put the name there because it was quite authentic and we're surrounded by Italians, and that was lovely. Clearly people who lived around that area. And I think, yeah, generally Venice, of course, in my opinion, is very worthwhile visiting. I think it doesn't matter really the period. It's always really special. I've been there in winter, I've been there in summer. Summer, of course, is very hot. Winter, it's very cold. But if you dress properly, you can manage. But I actually think, I love the fact that it's very crowded. I think that Venice has always been a very important place for different reasons. And whether it was tourists or merchants, locals, I don't think it's ever been a quiet place, so I think it's very authentic to it, in my opinion. Just keep in mind that you do need to pay if you are not local to Veneto, and then they will ask to see your QR code. But yeah, I'm very glad we managed to go there, that I managed to show you. And for the rest of the week, there will be some other adventures which I'm looking forward to. But for now, we're going to chill and actually make a homemade pizza here. My mother-in-law is going to be making one for us, filled with vegetables, which is going to be so nice. But yeah, we've got a couple of hours before that. So yeah, anyway, thanks for coming along. Well, you had no choice.
Vado?
Sì, sì, ok.
Ok. Lascia che